The sky over planet Elkar was dark, covered in thick gray clouds. Smoke rose from burned trees. The war had reached the jungle. Zarek ran through the mud, carrying his small daughter Lyra in his arms. She was no more than 6 years old. Her face was pale. She was silent. She knew not to cry. Behind them, the sky hummed with machines. Flying drones searched the forest, shining red lights down through the trees. "They will see us," Zarek whispered to himself. He looked around. No cave, no building, just mud. Wet, thick, sticky mud. Then he made a choice. He dropped to his knees, set Lyra down, and began covering her with the thick brown mud. Her hair, her face, her arms, all of her. Only her small eyes were left. "Don't move," he whispered, "not even a little." Lyra stared at him, scared, but she nodded. Then Zarek pushed her into the roots of an old tree. Its shape gave a little cover. He took a handful of mud and smeared it over his own body, too. Seconds later, a red light passed over them. The drone hovered above the tree. Its scanner clicked. Zarek held his breath. The scanner moved again. It blinked red, then yellow, then finally green. The drone turned and flew away. Zarek exhaled. His hands were shaking. Minutes passed. Then he uncovered Lyra slowly. Her eyes blinked, wet with tears. "You were very brave," he whispered. "We can move now." He picked her up and walked, slowly, toward the mountain edge. His legs were weak. They hadn't eaten in 2 days. At the base of the mountain, he saw an old metal structure. It looked like a human-made shelter from the old wars. Broken panels, half buried in vines. But maybe someone was inside. Zarek carried Lyra closer. Her head rested on his shoulder. Then he stopped. There was a figure, standing still, beside the doorway. A human man, tall, his face hidden under a dusty hood. An old rifle slung on his back. Zarek froze. He whispered to Lyra, "Stay quiet." The man didn't move. Then he raised one hand slowly, peacefully. "You look like you need help," the man said. Zarek didn't speak. "I'm not military." "I don't care what species you are," the man added. "But your girl, she's burning up." Zarek looked down. Lyra was shaking. Her skin was red. "Fever. I have water, fire, food," the man said. "But if you bring danger to my home, you leave now." Zarek stepped forward. "We have nothing. No weapons, no trackers." The man stepped aside and pointed toward the open. Inside was a small warm room, clean but old. There was a stove, 2 chairs, and a blanket on the floor. Zarek laid Lyra down gently. She coughed. Her eyes half closed. The man handed him a cloth. "Boil water. There's a pot." Zarek moved fast. His hands worked like habit. Long ago, before war, he had cooked in peace. He missed those days. The man sat down. "Name's Logan," he said. Zarek gave a nod. "I'm Zarek. This is my daughter," I figured. They sat in silence. Later, Logan gave Zarek a piece of bread. It was old and dry, but to Zarek, it was gold. He gave the first bite to Lyra. She smiled, just a little. Then suddenly, buzzing. Red light blinked on a small box in the corner. Zarek jumped up. "What is that?" he asked, alarmed. Logan stood up slowly. "Old beacon. Just started today. That's not good." Zarek's voice dropped. "They might be tracking her DNA." Logan looked at the girl. Why would they track a child? Zarek didn't answer. Logan narrowed his eyes. "Who is she?" Zarek didn't speak for a long time, then he said quietly, "She's not just a child, she's a target." Logan sighed. "You brought heat to my door." Zarek stood. "We will leave. I will not risk your life." But Logan raised his hand. "No," he said. "She's sick, and I've seen worse. You're not the first father to come here scared. Let her rest. Zarek looked at him with disbelief. Why? Would you help us? Logan looked at the child again. Then he whispered, because once, someone helped my daughter too. Outside, the storm grew louder. In the trees, red lights blinked again. But inside, for now, they were safe. The storm outside kept hitting the metal roof like angry fists. The wind howled through the jungle trees, but inside the small shelter, everything was still. Zarek sat near the old stove, holding his daughter's small hand. Her body was hot with fever, her skin pale beneath the dried mud still stuck to her. Frightened, her chest rose and fell, shallow, tired breaths. Logan moved silently in the room. He poured hot water into a small metal bowl and added strange herbs from a dusty container. You're human, Zarek finally said. Why help aliens? Logan stirred the mixture. You think war made me blind to pain? Zarek looked down. Most humans don't help. They shoot first. I don't follow orders anymore, Logan replied simply. He dipped a cloth in the warm herb water and placed it gently on the child's forehead. Lyra stirred, then calmed. She's strong, Logan said. She got it from her mother. Zarek whispered, his voice breaking slightly. There was silence. Then, knock, knock, knock. 3 soft knocks at the door. Zarek froze. Logan didn't move. His eyes sharpened. Without making a sound, he reached under the table and pulled out a small blaster. Stay here, he whispered. Zarek moved in front of Lyra protectively. His heart raced. Logan opened the door. Just a crack. Outside stood a man in a black uniform. His helmet glowed red, an insignia on his arm. The collection force. Good evening, citizen, the soldier said. We're searching for 2 fugitives, alien male and young girl, high priority. Logan gave a lazy blink. Haven't seen anyone but mud and monkeys. The soldier scanned the inside of the house. His red eyes paused on Zarek, who stayed half hidden in the shadows. Logan stepped between them. You want a drink or something, or just cold wind and questions? The soldier ignored the offer. You alone here? Always been. The soldier stared. Then he took out a scanner and aimed it into the room. Zarek held his breath. Beep, beep, beep. The scanner flashed yellow. Something was close. Something not human. The soldier's voice grew sharp. There's something else here. Logan didn't blink. That's my war dog. What? Logan stepped aside and whistled. From the back room, a large gray beast limped forward. It looked part wolf, part machine. Its eye glowed faint blue. It growled low. Good boy, Logan muttered. The scanner flashed green. No match found. The soldier lowered the scanner, annoyed. Watch yourself. There's a high reward for turning in fugitives. I don't need credits. I need peace, Logan replied and shut the door in his face. Zarek looked up. He almost saw me. Logan sat down again like nothing happened. He didn't. The dog fooled the scanner, bought us a little more time. Zarek stared at him. Why are you really helping us? Logan leaned back. His voice was quiet now. I had a daughter once. She was taken by people like them. She was just 10. Zarek said nothing. The room suddenly felt heavier. I never found her, Logan added. But maybe helping your girl helps me sleep at night. Zarek nodded slowly. That night, Lyra began to breathe better. Her fever broke. Her lips moved in her sleep. She's dreaming, Zarek whispered. Logan glanced at her, then at the door. Enjoy this night, he said. Because by tomorrow, we move. Move where? Somewhere safer. I know a place deep in the cliffs. No one goes there anymore. Zarek nodded. Then we go together. Logan stood and said firmly, You're not just some strangers now. You're under my roof. That makes you family. And for the first time in days, Zarek allowed himself to hope. But outside, the jungle wasn't quiet anymore. Something mechanical crawled across the trees. and it had picked up the faint smell of mud. The sun had not yet risen, but Logan was already awake. He stood outside the small shelter, staring at the jungle beyond. The leaves were still wet from last night's storm, and a low mist hung between the trees. He could feel something in the air, something wrong. The silence was too perfect. Inside, Zarek watched his daughter sleep. Lyra's fever had gone down and her breathing was steady. A small smile rested on her lips as if she was dreaming of a world that didn't want to kill her. But Zarek's heart was heavy. He knew they couldn't stay long, not just because of soldiers, but because of what his daughter truly was. Logan returned and poured 2 cups of something bitter and hot. "She's better," he said, nodding at Lyra. Zarek nodded. "Because of you." Logan sat across from him. "I've seen many aliens before, but your daughter is different. You're hiding something." Zarek stared into his drink. "She's just a child," he said. Logan leaned forward. "But not just any child, right?" Zarek stayed silent. Logan didn't push, not yet. He just said, "The way the scanner went off yesterday, and the way the soldiers are moving like bloodhounds, this isn't just about 2 survivors." Zarek sighed. Deep. Painful. Then he whispered, "Her name is Lyra Valen." Logan frowned. "That name means something?" Zarek nodded. "Her mother was High Commander Solari of the Tharn Resistance." Logan blinked. "Solari? She was killed 2 years ago." "They say that. But she died giving birth in secret. And you, I was her guard. Then, her husband. When the Empire crushed our forces, they knew her child could be dangerous." Logan looked toward the sleeping girl. "Why?" Zarek hesitated. Then he said slowly, "Lyra's DNA carries something ancient. Something called the Echo Key." Logan frowned. "Sounds like a fairy tale." Zarek shook his head. "It's real. Our ancestors built machines buried deep in planets. Machines that answer only to the Echo Key. They say it can awaken tech no one remembers." Logan's voice grew low. "You mean she can control lost weapons?" "Not just weapons," Zarek replied. "Gateways, shields, whole systems. If the Empire gets her, they won't just rule planets. They'll rule everything." Logan stood slowly. His hands clenched. "No wonder they're hunting her." Zarek stood too. "That's why I covered her in mud, to block the biosignature. It's not just war, it's survival." Logan looked out the window. "Then we don't wait. We leave tonight." "But where can we go? There's nowhere safe for her." Logan turned back and said calmly, "There's a place in the cliffs, an old mining colony. I lived there after the war. No drones fly that deep. And there's something else." "What?" Logan opened a metal drawer and pulled out an old map. He pointed to a mark. "There's a vault here, buried tech. I never got inside." Zarek's eyes widened. "Maybe she can open it." Logan nodded. "That's what I'm counting on." Suddenly, thud. Outside, something hit the ground. Logan and Zarek froze. Another thud. Then another. Zarek looked at him. "Drop pods." "Scouts," Logan muttered. "They found us." He rushed to the door and peeked through a crack. Small, armored figures moved through the trees. Black helmets, silver rifles. Logan grabbed his pack. "We're out of time." Zarek lifted Lyra into his arms. She was awake now, confused. "Papa?" she whispered. "We're moving, sweetheart. Just hold on." Logan grabbed an old pulse rifle and led them out the back, through thick brush, over wet rocks, and down a narrow hidden path only Logan knew. The sound of boots in the mud followed them, then, flash. A red beam hit the tree next to Zarek. It exploded into splinters. "They're firing! Keep going!" Logan shouted. "Don't stop!" But Lyra turned her head, her eyes wide. Her pupils shimmered silver. The mud still clung to her hair. Suddenly the air shimmered around her. A wall of blue light appeared behind them, like a barrier, glowing and humming. Zarek gasped. She activated something. Logan stared in shock. She just saved us. Behind them, the soldiers slammed into the blue light and were thrown back. Lyra's body shook. She fainted in Zarek's arms. She's too weak, Zarek said. We keep moving, Logan replied, voice urgent. But now I believe you. She's not a normal child. As they ran toward the cliffs, Zarek looked at her sleeping face and whispered, Hold on, my daughter. Hold on. The world will need you. The wind howled between the rocks as Logan guided Zarek and the unconscious Lyra into the hidden canyon trail. The path was barely visible, just mud, fallen leaves, and old bones from forgotten battles. Logan moved fast, but careful. He knew this land like his own breath. Behind them, the blue energy wall still glowed faintly in the jungle, keeping the soldiers trapped on the other side. But it wouldn't last forever. She's too warm again, Zarek whispered, holding his daughter close. Her skin was glowing faintly now, like soft starlight. She used power she wasn't ready for, Logan said without looking back. She needs rest, and we need distance. They climbed a steep slope using vines and tree roots to pull themselves up. Above them, the cliffs began to rise like giant teeth. Logan pointed toward a small opening, half covered by moss and stones. There, he said. It's not much, but it's shelter. The three entered the hollow. It smelled of damp air and metal. Inside, broken machines lined the walls, tools from an old mining camp, left behind when the war made this place too dangerous. Logan started a fire using a heat core. Soft blue flames lit the cave. Zarek placed Lyra gently on a dry blanket. Her chest rose and fell. Her glowing skin began to dim. She's stabilizing, he whispered. Logan handed him a canteen. Water, drink, then listen. Zarek drank quickly. Then Logan spoke. That path we came through? It'll be flooded by morning. Rain's coming. That buys us some time. Zarek nodded. And after that? Logan's face hardened. After that, we prepare to move again. But before he could say more, they both heard it. Squish, step, squish. Footsteps in the mud, outside the cave. Logan grabbed his rifle and blew out the fire. The room went dark. Zarek crouched low, shielding Lyra with his body. Outside, someone stepped on a dry branch. Snap, then silence. Logan moved to the cave's edge and peeked through a crack in the moss. There were 3 soldiers. But these were different. No emblems, no silver armor. These were hunters, bounty men. One had a breathing mask made of alien bone. Another carried a heat scanner, humming in his hand. They're mercs, Logan whispered. Not military. Zarek's eyes widened. Worse, mercs don't follow rules, they just follow credits. The hunter with the scanner pointed directly at the cave. They know, Logan muttered. Suddenly, flash. A small explosion ripped open the mossy door. The hunters rushed in. Logan opened fire. Bang, bang, bang. 2 fell instantly. The third lunged forward with a blade. Logan blocked it with his rifle and kicked him back. Zarek pulled a small shock pistol from his belt. Zap. The final merc dropped, twitching. Smoke filled the cave. Lyra stirred and whimpered. Zarek cradled her tightly. Shh. It's over. Logan wiped blood from his mouth. They were fast. Too fast. He bent over the dead merc and pulled out a comms chip from his neck. It's broadcasting, he said. They sent our location. Zarek looked at him, panic growing. Then the next wave will be worse, Logan nodded. We move now. But where? Logan stood, eyes locked on the deeper part of the cave. There's a tunnel, he said. It leads to an old station, and beyond that, the vault. Zarek hesitated. Can she survive the trip? We don't have a choice, Logan said. Suddenly, Lyra's eyes opened, glowing again. She looked straight at Logan and said, The vault is calling me. Both men stared at her in silence. Logan whispered, Then we follow the call. They picked up their packs, wrapped Lyra tightly and entered the tunnel. Behind them, the bodies of the bounty hunters still smoked, and outside the cave, deep in the shadows, a dark figure watched with glowing red eyes and smiled. The tunnel walls were tight and wet, breathing with the sound of dripping water. The air smelled like rust, stone, and old fear. Logan led the way, rifle in hand, every step silent, every move careful. Behind him, Zarek walked with Lyra wrapped, close in his arms. The girl's eyes were half open, glowing soft silver in the dark. Her voice was weak, but steady. "Left," she whispered. Then down. Logan paused at a fork in the path. She was right. The path to the left sloped down, deeper into the mountain. He said nothing, just followed. "She knows this place," Zarek murmured. "She's never been here," Logan replied. Zarek nodded. "Not with her feet, but maybe with her blood." As they moved deeper, the tunnel opened into a chamber, with an old lift. It was half buried in stone. Rust covered its metal shell. One panel still blinked faintly. Logan wiped it clean. "Manual override. If we get this working, it'll take us to the vault." Zarek looked nervous. "And if not?" Logan smirked. "Then we walk until we run out of air or options." Suddenly, click. Zarek spun around. Behind them, a shadow. Moved in the dark. Red eyes flashed. "Company," Logan hissed. They ducked just as a plasma shot sizzled past. Pew! 2 armored hunters stepped from the dark, one with a shoulder cannon, the other with an electro chain. "They tracked us fast," Zarek said. Logan dove to the side and fired. Bang! One hunter fell, but the other jumped forward with surprising speed. The chain whipped out, catching Logan's leg. He fell hard. Zarek ducked, shielding Lyra. "Go! Run!" But Lyra didn't run. She reached out her small hand, glowing. "Bum!" A wave of blue light exploded from her palm. The hunter screamed, body shaking, armor cracking. Then silence. The hunter dropped, lifeless. Logan groaned, pulling himself up. "Remind me never to get on her bad side." Lyra collapsed again, breathing hard. "She can't keep doing this," Zarek whispered. "We're almost there," Logan replied, limping toward the control panel. "She just needs to hold on a bit longer." He rewired the lift manually, sparks flying. Finally, click. The old doors creaked open. Inside, it was small, just big enough for the 3 of them. Logan pulled Zarek and Lyra in and slammed the door shut. The lift groaned and began to lower, creaking through layers of stone and time. "This vault?" Zarek asked. "What's inside?" "No one knows," Logan answered. "Old human tech, maybe alien tech. They called it the Heart of the Rock, sealed for centuries. Too dangerous to open, or too important." "And you think Lyra can open it?" "She's not just opening doors," Logan said. "She's waking up something bigger." The lift stopped. A loud hiss of steam escaped. The doors opened into a wide stone hall lit by glowing blue veins in the walls. Strange writing covered the ground, neither human nor Tharn. Zarek stepped forward. "This place? It's ancient," Logan nodded. "This is the core." They moved toward the vault, a giant round door with no handle, no buttons. Only a circle in the center that shimmered faintly. Zarek set Lyra down gently. "Can you do it, little star?" Lyra blinked, then reached her hand toward the circle. Her fingers touched it. Whoa! The whole vault glowed. Lines lit up like stars forming a path. The door slowly opened, heavy, loud, alive. Inside was a room full of machines, quiet and cold, waiting. But the silence didn't last. Behind them, boom. A blast rocked the hallway. The enemy had followed. Logan raised his rifle. "We hold them here. You and your daughter. Get inside." Zarek's eyes widened. "You'll be outnumbered." Logan smiled grimly. "They won't get past me." Another explosion. The light from the vault spilled into the hallway as Zarek carried Lyra inside. She whispered again, "It's not just a vault. It's a message." Zarek looked at her. From who? She answered softly. From the first ones. To humans. To us all. The vault was alive. As soon as Lyra crossed the threshold, the entire chamber lit up. Blue veins pulsed across the floor. Symbols glowed on the walls. Machines that had slept for centuries began to move. They did not hum. They breathed. Zarek stood in awe, holding his daughter close. Lyra, barely awake, was glowing again, this time not with heat but light. Gentle, calm, powerful light. Her silver eyes were wide open, and in them he saw something that frightened and amazed him. She wasn't just a child anymore. Behind them, the vault door began to seal. Logan had stayed back to hold off the enemies. Zarek wanted to run to him, but he knew Logan had made his choice. Protect her, Logan had said. She's more than hope now. The door slammed shut with a final clang. Zarek turned to the machines. One stood in the center of the room, tall, smooth, glowing, a spire of metal and crystal. It had no face, yet Zarek felt it watching them. Lyra walked toward it. Her small feet made no sound. Are you sure? Zarek asked softly. I was born for this, she answered. Even if I didn't know it. She placed her hand on the spire. The air shattered, like a bell ringing in their minds. Zarek dropped to one knee, clutching his head. The machines all around them lit up, one by one, like stars in a sky. Walls shifted. Ancient tech unfolded itself from hidden crevices. And then, holograms appeared. Floating in the air were visions. Not just images, but memories. A golden city, once alive, now ruins. A machine army falling to darkness. A group of humans and aliens standing together, holding hands. And at the center of it all, a child with glowing silver eyes, Lyra. No, that's not her, Zarek whispered. That's thousands of years ago. The spire spoke. Not with words, but through feeling. She is a remnant. A spark left behind. A key to awaken unity. Zarek's voice trembled. You mean, she carries the code of both human and alien lines? Yes. One blood. One purpose. No more war. No more control. Only rebirth. Zarek looked at Lyra. But why her? The light softened. Because she was born in hiding, not in power. Because she was saved by love, not war. That makes her strong. That makes her worthy. Tears filled Zarek's eyes. She's just a little girl. Lyra turned toward him. I'm still your daughter, Papa. He ran to her and held her tight. But then something changed. The spire glowed brighter. Its crystal core opened. Inside was a small, floating orb. Lyra looked at it. It's calling me. Zarek pulled back. What does it do? Before anyone could answer, the vault shook. Boom! The outer doors were under attack. Boom! The enemies were trying to break in. Lyra touched the orb. A beam of light shot upward and outward. Across the galaxy, something woke up. Satellites blinked online. Dormant ships powered up. Hidden codes unlocked in ancient human tech. Across far planets, engineers, pilots, and farmers all paused, feeling something change. Zarek watched in disbelief. She just lit up the whole network. The spire spoke again. This was the plan. One child to carry the code, one life to connect all, one gift to reset the path. But she's just a child. So were the first builders. So were you once. That's why you were trusted. Suddenly, crack. The outer door split. Enemy soldiers stormed in, but they didn't fire. They dropped their weapons. All of them. Every last one. Zarek turned in shock. What's happening? The soldiers stood still. Their armor began to glow. Then, crack, crack, crack. Their armor fell away like shells, revealing people beneath. Some human, some alien, some blended. They looked around, dazed. What did she do to us? One whispered. Zarek stepped forward. She woke something in all of you, something older than war. Lyra walked to them. I gave back what was taken. One soldier dropped to one knee. She's not a target, he said. She's the cure. Zarek stood beside her, trembling. She had done what leaders, armies, and machines could not. She brought silence. She brought peace. She gave back unity. She gave a gift to the galaxy, herself. The light from the orb slowly faded. The vault grew quiet again. Machines returned to their sleep, their work complete. But nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same. Zarek stood still, staring at the soldiers who had once chased him and his daughter. Now they knelt, confused, unarmed, no longer tools of war. Their faces were different, their eyes clearer. Some of them had even begun to cry. I remember, one muttered, my real name. Another looked at his hands. We were programmed, not born. Lyra stood in the center of the vault, her soft light now calm and warm. Her body looked smaller again, like a child, but something in her gaze had changed. She had seen too much for her age. Zarek walked up and wrapped his arms around her. You did it, he whispered. You changed them. You changed everything. Lyra leaned into him. I just gave them back what they forgot. You gave me the strength. Suddenly, clank, clank, clank. Boots echoed from the tunnel outside. Zarek turned, ready to defend her again. But it wasn't an enemy. It was Logan, bleeding, limping, bruised, but alive. Zarek ran to him. You made it. Logan gave a tired smile. Told you. I wasn't going to let them have you. He looked past Zarek to Lyra. So? Logan said with a breath, you really were the key. Lyra smiled and walked toward him. She reached out and took his hand. You didn't just protect me, she said softly. You believed in me. Before I even knew who I was. Logan knelt down, his voice thick. You're not a weapon, kid. You're a miracle. Zarek looked at him with gratitude. You saved us. Logan shook his head. You already saved each other. I just made coffee. They all laughed. Just a little. And in that moment, the weight of war seemed lighter. The former soldiers helped clean the area. Some stayed kneeling, praying in silence. Others simply walked around like newborns, discovering a world they'd never noticed. Outside, ships flew overhead, but didn't fire. They paused, hovered, then slowly turned and left. The signal Lyra had sent out, the message of peace, was spreading. Soon, a group of humans arrived. Scientists, healers, families. They had followed the pulse from the vault. One of them stepped forward, an older woman in white robes. Is this the child? She asked. Zarek stood tall. This is my daughter. Her name is Lyra. The woman bowed. Then her name will be known across worlds, and so will yours, protector. But Zarek shook his head. Let her be known for who she is, not where she came from. Lyra walked over to Logan again and hugged him tight. Will you stay with us? She asked. Logan froze for a second. Then he gently wrapped his arms around her. I'm not going anywhere, he said softly. You too. You're my family now. Zarek smiled. You saved my child. There's no greater bond than that. Logan looked around at the crowd of people gathering. Then maybe, he said, we can build something new, right here, no armies, no walls, just life. Lyra looked up. A home. Yes, Zarek said. A home. Months passed. The vault became a sanctuary, not for weapons, but for wisdom. Humans and aliens came together. They planted, built, sang. Lyra grew stronger, her powers calmer. She helped others remember. She taught children of both races how to read the old symbols on the walls. They called her the Light Child. And every evening when the sun dipped low behind the cliffs, she would sit beside Logan and Zarek, holding their hands. One human, one alien, one little girl who changed the galaxy. And when someone once asked Logan why he risked everything for strangers, he gave a simple answer. They weren't strangers. He was a father trying to save his child. I just opened the door. That's what family does.